I worked in the United States Senate Environment and Public Works Committee back in, it was 2007, the UN came out with their big agricultural report where they said that cow emissions were more harmful to the planet than all the trains, planes, and automobiles combined. And this was the beginning or the acceleration of going after the global food supply. And what happened in the interim time is there's all sorts of people in Hollywood, people like, Nicole Kidman pushing insect eating, with Vanity Fair actually like eating live insects, which I never understood where the animal rights people were with pushing that. We're seeing this madness spread everywhere now. In Ireland, they're going to cull 200,000 cows over 3 years to meet the net zero climate goals. Germany, this is their German newspaper, the Daily Bild, 1 sausage per month, according to the government's new proposal with the German Nutritional Society. This is real, it's happening, it's not theoretical, we're not talking about down the road. You saw the video clip, John Kerry announced earlier in June that we're now going to be targeting American agriculture. What happens is these politicians, and yes, even Republican politicians, sign on to these UN climate treaties and UN climate reports. Not so much George W. Bush, not Donald Trump, but certainly George H.W. Bush. But at these summits, and of course with Obama and Biden, they sign on to, I will limit, along with these other politicians, I'll limit the Earth's temperature to 2 degrees. And I'll limit up to 1.5 degrees, and we'll double down on net zero. Like modern witches arguing over how they're going to fine-tune the Earth's climate. Well, this grandstanding has real consequences because they then have net zero goals, a treaty that they sign, like the UN Paris Agreement. They go home. In the case of the Netherlands, where they wanted to eliminate up to almost 12,000 family-run small farms before the farmers fought back, a court ordered that they had to comply with these net zero commitments. And this is what's now happening both in our automotive industry and our food and energy industry. We've committed ourselves, and now we're forced to come out and start reorienting every aspect of society. This is the intentional collapse of food, agriculture, energy, and to boot our free speech, so we can't complain about it. So what's happening right now, as we go forward, is the United States just approved lab-grown meat. The United States is approving insects, and we have John Kerry now expanding this. They're already decimating farming in Australia, in Canada. We're seeing the results of it all throughout Europe, and we saw the results of it in Sri Lanka, where the World Economic Forum touted their big non-modern organic, return to organic farming, and of course the whole country, the presidential palace, was overrun. So there's an old Chinese proverb, when there's food on the table, there are many problems. When there's no food, there's only one problem. And right now, we are facing a situation where they're creating intentional chaos and scarcity to force us to look, as they're saying, to buy insects, to buy this lab-grown meat. And we even have elementary school kids in Europe, United States, Australia. They're giving kids these cricket-based snacks that look like potato chips, oil, seasoning, and they're told, and this is the exact quote, to go home and pester their parents that insects are good to eat. This is how they're doing a psyop, both globally, and they're aiming at the kids.